podcast number 3, 5 Squared, with your host, Tim Fives. So, it's funny, I was at, coming into the Christmas season here. We talked about some goals in the last couple of podcasts. And then I was, it's a Sunday afternoon here, so I was like, a little bit more spiritual today, because it's Sunday. But I thought it would be interesting to do a quick talk on things that prevent us from moving forward. And, it's really about becoming complete with the past year. So if you want to achieve more in 2017, you have to take some time to look at what went well and what didn't go well in 2016, right? You got to do a year in review. And what I'm finding for some of my clients is that they don't really look backwards at all. And I think a famous person said, if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. And I think in business especially, people get into a system of, this is what I do it. And it's the rut, right? It's working, it's getting me there, I don't know, and maybe we have a rut at home or spiritually or whatever it is. But that's something that I never put a lot of stock in until I've done it the past year or two. These were tidbits given to me by my coaching with people that are coaching me and saying, hey, you need to get complete. If you had a bad year especially, but even if you had a good year, right? What went really well? What didn't go well? And typically what I tell people is to look and make a list of all of their goals, right, that they had for 2016. Did you accomplish them? Did you not accomplish them? Now, in the past podcast, we talked about goal setting and some of the areas that you need for good goals, right? Were those goals actionable? Did you time-bound them? Were they even achievable? Were they doable goals? And most of them are. Did you create that leverage on yourself? And were they able to be measured, right? So that's kind of the crutch of that goal setting. So go back and listen to that if you missed it. But when we're looking about getting complete in a year, and some of my clients do this quarterly, sometimes they do it monthly, depending on the business they're in. I encourage everybody to do it yearly. What went well, what didn't go well, and kind of why, right? And what I really encourage people to do is write it down, right? So when you sit there and you're saying, hey, for instance, this didn't go well. I didn't hit my sales goals, right? And here's why, and get complete about it. Understand it. I'm not saying to beat yourself up over it. I'm not saying to I guess the word is fret about it for days and days. But just a quick exercise so you can see, like, hey, here's where I did really well. This is what my strengths play to. This didn't go well. But don't play the blame game. I think that's, there's a difference by understanding, for instance, well, there was a downturn in the economy and I didn't hit my sales goal. Well, most people would come back and say, well, it's the economy's fault. What I would come back and say is you didn't adapt to the changes in the economy. And that's going to make you better for 2017 going forward to say, like, all right, let me take a little better look at economic factors or those things that allow me to be more flexible and more dynamic and for sales going forward. And that's that lesson learned. The other thing, I was reading a book that was given to me today, and it's all about forgiveness, right? So it's good to get a little spiritual, I guess. I don't know, a little preachy, not meant to me, but I'll preach to you if you're listening. But a lot of times people hold in things where they've blamed other people, they have a chip on their shoulder, they're holding grudges and things of that nature. And quite frankly, the only person that's hurting is yourself. The only person that's expending energy on those things is you. All right. So if you're mad at your wife or your husband, or if the people on the block have made you mad and you're frustrated and really irritated by them, the only person that's hurting is you. They don't know that, right? Especially if you're holding it in and harboring a grudge. So, and that takes a tremendous amount of effort to do that. So one of the ways to get complete is to forgive these people, right? No matter what the hurt, no matter what they've done, is to put it behind you and be at peace with that. Like say, hey, you know what? You're making the choice to forgive them, not for them, but for you. So you can move on and take that energy that would generally be used to harbor that grudge or the hurt and put it into something positive. So we're going to, we'll talk about that as a kind of a theme as we go forward. But I really think that, that being forgiving and getting your mind right so that you're not harboring the ill will is a good thing. And we've all done that. We've all been there. So, just think about that as you go into 2016 or 2017, coming out of 2016 here, saying, hey, how do I get complete? So, first thing I would do, right? Pretty simple task. I'll give you a second. Get a piece of paper. 1 second. 1 second's up. Got your paper and pen. All right. So just make a list. What went well on one side of the paper? What didn't go well on the other side? Then on the bottom of the paper, I'd say, where are you expending energy on grudges and things that just are not productive in your life? And think about it. Think about forgiving these people. Moving on. Not so that they feel better, but so that you feel better. And you can just get it down. Now, I'm a huge fan of writing things down because I think it allows the mind and the psyche to put it down, put a stake in it, and say, all right, we're done. And then when you start looking at goals for 2017, you can start to say, all right, here's what didn't go well, here's what did go well. You can move these things forward into your 2017 to make it better. And the reason for this activity of getting complete is so that you get out of the rut of doing the same thing year over year, right? Especially if your business is struggling, especially if you're struggling personally, especially if you are struggling in a relationship or with weight loss or with whatever it is. You want to get complete. You want to go back and get complete about the year, because it's almost like and writing it down allows your brain to reset and starts the flow of ideas and things for 2017. Do this with a blank sheet of paper. So the next thing that I would do, and then the activities after I've gotten complete, is I would start a what if blank sheet of paper. What if you could do X? And I wouldn't make it bound to, well, if I had money. No, what if you did something, right? What if you went out and did an Ironman? What if you went out and climbed Everest? What if you went out and did that? How would that feel? How would you get, and how would that, enhance your life? So those are the two kind of activities starting to look at 2017 that I'd look at is getting complete. What do you need to do? How do you need to do it? Pretty simple exercise. Get a sheet of paper, one side, write down all the things that went well, what didn't go well, and kind of think through them. All right, well, that didn't go well. Make some notes. It's not a formal thing where you got to have 25 things on each side of the thing. It's got to be balanced. Maybe you did everything really good. Maybe you had the best year of your life and you hit all your goals, and that's great. Well, go get complete on that, because that's a great thing. Or maybe you didn't have a great year and things just went to pot. Maybe you got divorced. Maybe, you lost your job. A lot of us have done that, been through there. What happened? What can you learn? And then separate out the actionable things that you could have done differently, could have done better, that you've learned from it. I'm a big proponent of that this rock we're on called Earth allows us one chance. So if you're not learning from your mistakes and from the pain, then you're leaving the most valuable thing on the table to learn from and move forward from. So with that, have a wonderful day. It's 5 Squared Podcast. Check us out at www.5ves.squared.com, FIVES squared, SQUARED.com, and leave us a note. Let us know what you think of the podcast, and we'll see you soon.